Good morning, everybody. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hopefully we're all good. How are we all doing? I'll just wait for some more people to join. I ordered over the weekend some little digital timers. Just some like kitchen timers. So we'll see how well. I normally just use my watch. Sorry, my phone. But these are also good when I go to like the sauna and stuff. These are waterproof ones. So I'm going to use these just to like, when I'm in a position, stick a timer on, half an hour. Where are we? Are we doing much? And you can just set, and then just goes down. Beautiful. So simple. Okay, we've got 9 people watching. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes just for some more people to join. I can't check who's actually on, but if Sam's watching, you'll know I am, or if you know Sam's layout, you'll know this is Sam's trading view layout. I've added some of my indicators on here and just changed a couple things, but I really like the way he's laid things out. Really just attention to detail and the colors and all that sort of stuff. I think it's really, really useful. So the only thing I have changed is my ATR colors, I think, on one of the charts, but I just need to switch over to the other chart. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna have to maybe do a collaboration with Sam at some point, with maybe the indicators or something, because we are both coming up with really good ideas and then putting them together, and it's just 2 brains are always better than 1. So I said to him this morning, we were on a call for about an hour before this call this morning, and I hate being one of those guys, obviously, just to create courses after courses, but I think I've only really ever probably made about 2 or 3 courses in the whole time I've been trading. But there is just so much knowledge that that I've compiled, and then also other contributors like Sam that has also compiled over the last like year or two. I think that for the past year, a large amount has changed, and it just gets to a point where there's 100 videos on the masterclass already, and I don't want to just keep adding videos on there, because it's just, if someone buys it today, they're going to be so overwhelmed. So I think it's going to get to a point where I'm going to have to create a new course, just as the market changes, as new things develop, as I create new things. It's just going to get to a point where you're going to have too much content in one place. So I will create a new course. It'll probably be maybe 2026, but it will be a brand new sort of extension of the Fibonacci and the teachings and everything else in the masterclass, because there's just so much that we've obviously added. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that will be coming in 2026. I'll most likely do like a pre-order, something like that, at a cheaper price and keep it affordable. But it's just, if anything, more so, there's so much that has changed and there's so much new stuff I want to add, and it's putting it in the right vehicle for that to work. So yeah, without further ado, I think that's been a nice explanation just whilst we wait for some more people to join. I was off on Friday. I'm just going to put my volume up slightly. I just realised it's down. I'm going to put my... Sorry, I was off on Friday, and I'm going to break down what happened on Friday when I was gone. And for those in the room, you'll be able to see some of the workings of the indicators and what we've been working on. But at the moment... let me just go back. Bear with me 1 second. For some reason, I haven't got it where it's showing me the squares. Just 1 second. Bear with me, guys. I don't think I have the ETH and the RTH. Low, which is not coming on for some reason. Why is that not on? You'll have to let me know, Sam. I don't know why I can't see those the squares on the lows on Friday. Strange. Message me. But anyway, you've seen the photo I put in the Discord, but essentially this is the ETH low of day on Friday, which traded, and also the RTH, so that's nice. But we've compiled them into a symbol, like basically a square or a circle or a diamond, whatever. So you'll notice on my screen now there's a lot of squares, crosses, circles, diamonds, and they all mean something. And sound, that's fine. He's just working on doing something with the offsets, which is fine. But yeah, all of the symbols on there do mean something. And like I say, I'm going to put it all into a step-by-step course, because it's just going to be too confusing just to explain it in a 10-minute video. It's just not going to work. So anyway, in short, I'll break it down as much as I can in terms of what we did on Friday. But essentially, RTH, ETH, low of day, traded the halfway back. We had these are amber diamonds, but they're essentially green diamonds. I'm going to call them green diamonds. I will probably change them to green. Sam's just got them at amber for the time being, but essentially green diamond confirmation. Never broke the 62. This is Sam's settings. I'll just change them back to mine just so you can see what we had. This is the 62. So on the Friday, we never broke that 62, and then of course on the overnight, traded those completions. So you'll see traded the 23. Got above the 62. Now, me and Sam were looking at this, breaking it down this morning live together, and it's just incredible, because you'll see, I was saying you can't really draw a high to high in this sequence, and we never came into what would be a same anchor new high, right? Never came down into that retracement. But what we did is, once we got to and through that 62, okay, you had green diamond support all the way along. So trend was up. You're above the overnight midpoint as well. You get a retest of that overnight midpoint, actually. But what happened is, this is where you got the validation of the high to high. So you can see the high to high traded, which was down here at 725, 730. And you can see we had green diamonds as well. Again, these are amber, but these are essentially green diamonds, which is just a strong momentum indicator. And that went all the way to its completion, which would have been this green square up here, which is basically a ATR top. And you can see once that traded, and of course that was also the 23 as well. So you had the high to high, 38 entry, 23 completion, which was 86 points in about 40 minutes on the overnight session, which is pretty wild. And of course we had the 4-hour and the hourly ATR highs as well. And just an absolute monster setup. We were literally watching it live, and yeah, just I actually recorded it, because I will put that video, that live recording, in the new course, whatever it's called. So that was the breakdown from Friday going into today. And then what also Sam has got that I haven't actually used before, there was another indicator that he was looking at, which is again a sort of a momentum shift indicator. And what's interesting is at 7 o'clock, you can see that is, if you look to the left here, 7 o'clock is before the high to high and before the green diamond. Once that started to happen, or once that time's elapsed, you actually ended up going green on his momentum indicator. Again, another sort of indicator to give you that confirmation that hang on a second, we've traded the full ATR, sorry, the full halfway back into what was that negative 100. Once we got that negative 100, again from Friday, halfway back, this is your completion. Once you got that, you ATR'd down, rebalance that midpoint of 7 p.m. Inside of all of that is when you traded that high to high and the green diamonds. So, and there was also a 4-hour ATR low, I believe. No, sorry, that's now. So yeah, you had like 3 or 4 confirmations, and then you literally completed that target straight away. So yeah, just really, really nice to see this morning. So all and Sam basically asked me what was my trade plan going to be this morning, and actually really straightforward. And he actually gave me it because there was only really one thing you can do. So all I will really do is draw that same anchor new high, and at the moment the 50, so the halfway back, is what I would be looking for a potential bid. Now, I think the 38 or the 50 are both going to be valid. You've only really got about 18 points of variance between the two, or about 18 points, so I don't think it really matters too much. The only thing I would say is you're at the previous week highs, so obviously it's never super clean going long at a previous day high. That's where we're going to be a little bit tricky and probably wait for the open to form. Other than that, I think potentially you've got the scenario that you could come. This is actually a daily. Let me just zoom out. Sorry. I've just realized this is obviously Sam's drawings. This is slightly different to what I've had, but this was a traditional that went 2 completions. He's drawn a same anchor new high, which traded, and you've got a completion above. So I think the drawings that he's got on here are valid. And as you can see on the larger time frame, he drew this daily, which is what I've got on my screen as well. He drew this daily halfway back, high to high, sorry. It's a halfway back, it's a high to high extension. And that completed its target this morning, which is what we were watching live. So it does get tricky in these areas because you've also traded a full range on the ETH. You've pretty much traded what, 91% of that range. So I think the direction is going to be up. It's just, again, as I've said, you're at all-time highs, or you're pretty much at all-time highs. You're at a weekly high, so it is going to be you are going to just have to be comfortable with either bidding aggressive extensions or being patient for those pullbacks, and you just have to be very aggressive with basically bidding them and just letting it work. And if it doesn't work, you get stopped out, and that's fine. A full same anchor new high from from Friday's low would bring you right down back into about 25,080 on the half. And I'm just seeing if that lines up with anything. Pretty much lines up with what is this momentum midpoint here, but that will change obviously as we go down. So you can't really do any touch points from these anchored VWAPs because this broke here. So if you drew a new anchored VWAP from that touch point, which is not really what I would do, but if you did, you'll see that would also bring you down to around that area as well. So I think if you want to be super patient and not really do anything until you get down into this zone here, which is pretty much 25,000 and call it 50, 21,100 is about a 50 point range there. That would be a really nice average, decent, cheap price for a long. I just don't know if we get it. But that's pretty much, yeah, and that's also previous month high. I don't really have these on, but this is, I'm assuming that would be the previous month high from from where are we now? October from September. So that would be a nice break and retest of that as well. So that is anchored VWAP, halfway back, previous month high. And in terms of ATRs, where will that put you? You'll be about maybe 80% of the ETH range. So that would be a nice discount, a nice pullback. Whether we get it will be another thing. But that's all I'm really going to look for. I'm not going to be bidding any aggressive extensions. And I'll be working in the background with Sam just to get all these working properly. And what I'll do is I'll speak with him and I'll probably release the indicators as a whole, as a package. And I'll probably do some sort of collaboration with Sam just because a lot of them he's done work on and I've done work on them as well. So we'll probably come up with something together. And if you're interested in having these on your screen, they'll be included in the new course as well. But if you are wanting to have them on your screen, just because these are a lot of Sam's work, I'm not going to include them in my package because that's unfair on Sam. So I'll probably cut him in on some of the deal as well. So let us know if you are interested in those. And I think that's pretty much my morning plan. It'll just be a case of waiting for a pullback and just be patient. I don't think we're going to get anything super clean with it being Monday and you've already traded 91% of the ETH range. my bias is going to be continuing to go up. It's just a case of waiting for those pullbacks. So yeah, that's what I really have this morning. If there's any questions, let me know. I'll just read through the Discord or the WhatsApp just to see if there's any questions. I don't think there is. If there is, let me know. But I'll go live on WhatsApp now and share my screen. And if there's any questions, let me know. Again, still working through some of the updates on these at the moment. So just give us a couple of days and hopefully they'll all start working a lot cleaner. So yeah, I will end the YouTube here and I'll go